Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Muscovy ducks. Um, Way back, I don't know exactly when, they were classified as a wood duck. They do have a claw on the side of their shank, their leg, and they do fly very well and they will roost in trees. But then I think they did some studies or some DNA testing and they change it to a different subfamily. But they will roost in trees. They won't nest in trees, but they will roost. They'll fly. I've had them fly like 30 feet up in the pine trees at my house. So they're very good flyers. Um, the males can get like up to close to about 20 pounds when they're fully mature, and the hens will get around 10, 11 pounds. Uh, they're a fairly newly domesticated duck. Some of them, and because there's the wilds and the domestic Muscovies. The domestics and the wilds, they lay clutches. So they, about I normally see around 12 eggs in a clutch. They'll do about 3 in a year, depending on weather conditions. Maybe I'd say about 2 to 4, but generally 3. And they'll lay a clutch, and it takes 35 days. Most ducks, it's like 28 days. Most mallard, domestic ducks, it's 28. But but Muscovies are 35, and they come in a range of colors. The black and white, I think, is actually the original wild color, and then we've got there's some few different shades of browns, like a chocolate and a khaki color. There's a lavender, a solid white, and whatnot. They're pretty cool bird. They're pretty very quiet. They will hiss at you if you get close, um, but they're a pretty quiet bird. Otherwise, they don't quack at you or anything like that. When you if you could catch them, one thing I definitely advise you to do if you catch them and grab a hold of them, wear gloves, because even if you like grab them by their wings, so you're kind of like your hands are in their back, they can hook their leg around and still get you with that spur, that claw. So I've been cut up many a time uh, fooling with these ducks. So that's one thing I would definitely be careful about is wear some gloves or uh, have a good way to transport them. Uh, because they are different than all of your other domestic ducks, if you were to cross them, they're mules. Just like you cross a horse with a donkey, you get a mule. If you cross a Muscovy with other ducks, they become a mule. So the babies are infertile. You can't breed the babies. Uh, the males will be sterile and whatnot. So what some people do is they'll cross the male Muscovies with another breed and like a Peking or another mallard subtype, and they'll get a really fast growing meat duck. So, because Muscovies, it takes a good 8 to 10 months to get them to a good heavy size. So if you cross them with like a Peking, you'll you'll get a fast maturing, or pack on the weight quicker, but they'll reach a higher uh, size than your standard Peking would if you want a heavy meat bird. So from what I've heard too, they taste a lot more like beef. I think it's just their size and uh, they fly more, so they get a lot more oxygen and whatnot into their wings and their muscles. So I think it's a lot less fatty compared to domestic ducks. But if anyone's eaten them, uh, please comment below and tell me what you think comparing them to other domestic ducks. It's just a secondhand bit of information that I know of. Um, But yeah, they'll brood out their own babies. They'll hatch out their own babies and they'll raise them up. The males will help sometimes, depending on your setup. And they're a pretty good duck, for the most part. The males will fight. The females don't really fight each other at all, and they're a really good breed. Like I said, the only issues I've ever had is that they're not consistent layers like other domestic ducks. They just lay the clutches, and those spurs are a pain in the butt when you have to catch them for anything. But beyond that, they're a really, really nice duck. Those are my thoughts. Please comment down below and tell me what you think, and I will see you next time.